All right, let's get started. Let's do a sound check. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Give it a moment to make sure that the sound and audio and everything is coming in okay. You guys can see I just got into a trade too. I'm jumping right into it. It's just immediate. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Welcome, everybody. All good? Sounds good. You can see the chart. You can see everything. I'm going to go ahead and do the intro, and we'll dive right into these markets. You can see I have the Nikkei behind me, and it's starting to, I'm already down $350. But as always, welcome. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. There is our risk disclosure in the chat. We're going to be analyzing and talking about the live markets. And anything that I say and I am talking about is for educational purposes only. You guys can see behind me, I'm going to dive into it. I got into one long contract right now, and it looks like the Nikkei is continuing to tank. I'm looking at getting into 2 contracts. We'll see how this goes. This is on the Combine accounts. You guys could see here, I am copy trading on 3 Combine accounts. Trying to pass these. I'm really close to getting them passed. Unfortunately, I'm having trouble getting over the finish line on this one. So we'll see. I also took this trade on my live account. I can't pull up my live account at the same time because they're both rhythmic. But you can see that I am trading on my live account here. Pretty much mirror on what I'm doing. I'm long on my live account at 38,630. So I'm positive in my live, and yeah, it seems I just got a better price on the live because I entered this trade first. So here we go. Yeah, sorry, this is a fast start to slow markets. I'm going to be monitoring it because, like I said, I do trade. I have my phone open. I have my phone up. This is my live account. On here in front of you guys, what you can see, I am trading this combine, these 3 combines, trying to get a pass. I am only about $1,000 away from passing to 3 XFAs. Seems like the last mile is always the hardest for some reason. I might get into a second contract here. I'm going to jump into a 1-minute chart. And if we do get some type of support, some type of buyers, and you can see this is a very ugly chart because of the thin order books, I might get into a second long. We shall see. I don't want to get in too big too fast because there still can be some continuation down here, maybe to the 500, 450s. And then I would get into my second long. We shall see. There's a little bit of a hesitation here. Today it was a nice rally for the Nikkei, as you guys could see. Pretty much this was the day from last night. And immediately to start the Asian session, we have been selling off. I do want to get into 3 contracts. So this is one where I am looking to build a 3 contract position. Not all at once, but maybe 2 or 3 as we show some type of support. If not, I'll close out if we do start to break down because it can get ugly really fast, to be honest. But we shall watch. And as always, if I don't get to your question, let me zoom in and pull up the chat. Feel free to ask your questions. If I don't get to it, copy and paste and then go again and answer that same question. We have Prof Trader in there that he will also be sending me questions that I missed that he deems that is a good enough for me to answer. We also had another comment earlier, and what I was talking about before is I had some news last week, and I'm not sure if everybody caught that. I'm getting approval. It's not 100% done that everybody here in my slow markets class will have an opportunity to get a free combine or reset. It sounds like they're primarily looking at Topstep X for a new combine or reset. We will see. Like I said, I don't know 100% of the details. I just know that I'm pushing for that, and that's what I'm looking to get for you guys. And all the details are yet to be determined. I'm just panning back and forth these different time frames here on the Nikkei. This is a 1 minute chart. I think I'm going to go ahead and get into my second contract here. See if I could get in on my second contract. There's Rips. There's the GOAT is Rips. He's the guy of the day session. I'll be the nighttime guy, and Rips, my trading buddy, is a professional. He's amazing at the fast market, something that I wish I could do. I'm just a little slow. I like my slow markets. I look at the market in a higher time frame. I do trade the New York session. I wish I was great at reading the books and reading momentum as the one and only Rips. Maybe we'll get together one day and do slow markets, or I'll hop onto his stream or something. But yeah, Hoop, don't make me mute you with that stuff, Hoop. Dakota, do you plan on using Bookmap for fast markets? No, I do not. I do not plan on using Bookmap in fast markets because that's not the way I trade. I definitely am open up to the possibility to taking a look at it, practicing it, but definitely not something where I will be using it and going through and making my own strategy because I'm used to mine. Maybe I'll test it out and practice with it for a little bit. We shall see. Yeah, we got everybody in the house now. Looks like we got Jay, Rips, Hex, Sarah. We have Andre. Came here to continue to watch me lose some money. I'm down about $1,000. We'll see. This market, I might have to just close out of this one soon. Yeah, I'm long the Nikkei, and the Nikkei is just selling off here. I want to get into 3 contracts. We'll see if it will let me or not. This is kind of the last area, the last zone that I want to get in. We'll see if it gives that opportunity to me or not. If not, I'll be taking a loss. Flip, flip, flip. So anyway, as this trade goes, let's go ahead and take a look at these other markets. I plan on letting this run for a little bit. Like I said, I have a much longer time frame than a lot of traders. I did get into my second contract on my live account. While we were talking, I had a limit order. Remember, the live account and sim are completely 2 different things. The fills are a bit different in simulated than it is in live. So my live account, my entry for my 2 contracts is 38,613. So 38,613. We'll watch this. Hey, Hoag, how are you? And let's jump into the Nasdaq. I want to start with the Nasdaq first, and we'll always continue to kind of go in these markets at the same time. The Nikkei was just moving really quick. I'll jump back and forth and give you guys an update about how it goes as we are going through that. But I'll start with the Nasdaq, then we'll move over to crude oil, and then finish it off with the Nikkei. But we will be jumping back and forth to the Nikkei to see if we can get an update on that. Like I said, it's slow markets. The market typically moves a little bit slower than normal. Today's been interesting. This week has been interesting as well. We like to start on a daily time frame. So here's the daily chart on the Nasdaq, and not much has changed, to be honest. We've been in consolidation mode for the past, count them, pretty much the week or so. This is a really volatile consolidation where you guys could see we've been consolidating, but the average true range on the daily chart has been much, much greater than what we've been seeing on this rally up. And so I had a couple questions going into this. The very first one is rollover. Yes, rollover does and will affect it. That could be a possibility why we're seeing so much volatility the past week or so compared to what we're used to. Like you can see down here, this is a little bit behind me. that's not a lot of volatility on the daily chart. And then whenever we do start to consolidate, these consolidation zones per se on the daily, it's not been that wide. However, we are in a really wide consolidation and consolidating market. So it's interesting in terms of the style of trading that can and will be done in this zone. For example, this favors reversal trades. It favors, consolidating markets. If you have a consolidating strategy, then this is typically the market that you like to trade. However, this is kind of a hybrid. And the reason why I say that, maybe let's go over this a little bit, and then I'll jump back to the Nikkei, and because I can see that moving around as well. But you can imagine how a consolidation strategy during these periods work versus maybe a consolidation in this type of a market environment can work, because it's like I'm trying to think of a way to put it, maybe a trending day where we trend to the downside, then we trend to the, back and forth and back and forth. So it's a much wider consolidation than what I am used to what a lot of traders that I've been talking to are used to and seeing in these markets. So whether you're a trend trader or a consolidation trader, essentially you can do both. The consolidation trader that I do kind of like is very simple, right? We buy when the market's coming down to the bottom, and then we look to take shorts as the market comes up to the top of this consolidation. It's very simple, very basic. I believe, who is it? Who's a consolidation trader that I was just talking to? Dobie. Dobie likes to have the consolidation range, of course, on a smaller time frame, but very similar. Traders who are buying low and selling high are doing really, really well in this market. Yeah, Andre Dobie. Of course, he's a 5-minute trader, a much smaller time frame, but the markets are fractal, and if this was a 5-minute time frame, Dobie would be killing it. He did amazing today during Power Hour, and the market was doing just that. And I got my butt handed to me in Power Hour because we were not trending and the market wasn't clean to me, but Dobie made some great money because he had a consolidation strategy. When the market was selling off, he was buying it. When the market was rally, he was selling it. That is a really good strategy, and it's one just like any other strategy. Is they work until they don't, right? So I'm going into tonight and tomorrow and the rest of the week with that same mindset. We're consolidating here on the Nasdaq. We don't have too much room to the upside. Before we get to that zone, one can argue we're trending down and to the right and maybe making a flag pattern. So that's also something I'm going to be looking at this week. So let's zoom into an hourly chart and we can further discuss and talk about what we're looking at. So let me adjust these charts. So now we're going down to a 1-hour chart on the Nasdaq, and you guys could see it. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty clear. When we start to zoom in, then obviously you could start to see it a lot better, where we have these highs and we have these lows. Buy when the market's down here, sell when it's coming up here. We're right in the middle now, right? And it's a lot harder to be a buyer or a seller because we are in the middle of this range. If anything, maybe there's something to be said. Maybe we have a continuation to the top of the range. That is an option where if we do continue to break out, maybe we look for a continuation, to the top of this range, looking for profits, looking to maybe, dare I say it, look for shorts to get up here. That can be a play. Do you think that we could continue down here? Maybe. I think, and like I said, a lot of this is just me reading the markets and me looking at the markets for the first time for a while. is I really do think that if we were going to see a push down, because we could see very clearly that the market has had resistance, that was our chance. That was our chance to continue back down and maybe test these lows. However, we didn't, and now we're starting to push higher. Now remember, this is a 60-minute chart on the Nasdaq, and yeah, I'm. Do I say I'm going to be hands off on the Nasdaq again? I think so. I'm going to go ahead and clean this chart up a little bit. We are right in the middle. Yesterday, if you guys could remember, yesterday I was looking for a break above Sunday's open. We did get that, and we continued to push higher. So, we're above Sunday's open, and tomorrow is what? Wednesday. We have maybe a continuation up higher. So I do believe that there's a good probability or a good chance that if we do continue, I'm going to be looking for, 18,600 or somewhere up into these highs. It would only make sense, right? Because we've been in this range-bound market. Nothing should be changing unless we break in one direction or the other or some dramatic news event comes out. So yes, I am going to be planning for the market, maybe have some more continuation up here towards the 18,600 level. Jose, why does your NQ chart look distant? Where is actually all-time highs? So this is an hourly chart on the Nasdaq. This is June contract. So I'm not sure why, but yeah, this is the June contract. And while we're waiting, let's pop into my Nikkei long and let's take a look. Here's the 5-minute chart. We're getting that reversal a little bit. If we see that continuation, now remember, these are the combines that I am sitting here trying to pass. If we do get a bounce, I will be taking profit right at the 159,000. We shall see. This is putting my level to where if we do continue to consolidate or if we push higher, I will put my stop loss in right now below this if we continue to go sideways. If not, I'm just going to watch it, and I will close it at market if we do start to sell off. I like this trade. I took it on both the combine, just so you guys know, and I have it in my live account. So it's in both these combines and my live. I'm long on my live at, like I was saying, 38,613. So my live account, I'm long right about there. So that's where I'm long on my live, and this is where I'm long on my combines. We'll see how it plays out. Like I said, I'm watching this. I have the button over here to get me out of the market. And once we start to form this pivot, I will put my stop loss in. Like I said, we always want to have a stop loss no matter what, because anything can really happen. So now going back to the Nasdaq. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a little long-winded right now going through this. How can we play this, right? Because essentially the question that we ask ourselves, I did the analysis. We were in the middle of the range. Is there any opportunity for an overnight trade, right? Because that's the first thing we want to ask ourselves. Is there an opportunity for an overnight trade? Am I able to get in long, get in short, maybe put an order in to see if I could take advantage of, any movement between now and tomorrow? Well, the first thing that I am looking at is a consolidation here, right? Where we are starting to consolidate. We did have a breakup. We broke out during power hour, right? And now we're starting to consolidate a little bit. And the bias is to the long side. So we are trending up. And so one way that I do like to take advantage of the overnight trading session is using buy limits and buy stops. For example, if I am looking to buy the market, I will use a buy limit or buy stop. And we do have a question is, Dakota, what on average, what is your risk amount on the combines? I remember your overall risk reward is lower, so how do you manage that inside of a combine? So let me go over that because I think this is a good question, and this could be a very well good answer maybe to explain risk. And then I also had another question about a position sizing, because position sizing is also very important. So if I want to be long the Nasdaq, I want to use either a limit order or a stop order. A limit order will trigger me in if we sell off. A stop order will trigger me in if we break out. So the first thing I'm looking at and the first thing I see is maybe we put a buy stop above this high. And now what this says is once the market breaks out, and it will trigger me into a long, and then I'll look for some take profits up here. And the first area of take profit that I'm seeing is, immediately maybe something up here or here. Now remember, this is kind of a rough draft. This is my analysis on an hourly chart, and then I'll zoom in to a 5-minute chart, and then I'll be a little bit more accurate. I could adjust my orders as well. So for my buy stop, this is going to be something I'm looking at. Maybe I put my entry there, then I could put a stop maybe down here, right? This is a 1-to-1 risk reward where I'll be triggered in. If the market breaks out, I'll get triggered in, and then I have my stop loss and then my take profit. Now remember, I'll start talking about the risk, and then I'll start talking about position size, because immediately as a new trader, you could imagine, oh wow, his entry would be at 494 and his stop loss is all the way down to 400. You're risking 100 points, Dakota. Well, yes, 100 points depending on how big of a position size you are. If you're in a mini, you risk $2,000. But if you are in a micro, you're only risking $200. So it's all about position sizing and risk management. So 1 micro, I would be risking about $200, and my reward would be about the same thing. It's a 1-to-1 risk reward. 1 micro, risk 200 to make 200 on this particular trade. Now remember, these are not exact numbers. It's just a rough estimate because I'm eyeballing it, of course. And yeah, if I want to increase my risk, then I'll just go from 1 micro to 2 micros. And then I'm risking 400 to make 400. This is a 1-to-1 risk reward. The probabilities, it's a little bit higher just because we have to be breaking out. The market will be going in the direction I want it to go in order for me to get triggered in. So I do have a little bit better probabilities when it comes to this type of trade. However, I do like those high risk rewards, so I like to be getting in using limit orders. So something like this, right? Where now instead of a 1-to-1, I'm looking for maybe a 4-to-1, maybe a 5-to-1 risk reward on something like this. So let's zoom in to a 5-minute chart, and we will start to see the market a little bit better, and we can see where the pivots, we can see maybe where putting our orders might look better. So immediately, I like my limit maybe somewhere like this. This is just an example, and the reason being is we see, making a mess of my chart here. So the reason being is I see a lot of support and resistance around this level, right around, maybe even go for like 410. 400 is a key psychological level, and then my stop loss down somewhere below here. And so what this is saying is I'm risking about 30 points, about 40 points. So risking 40 points on this particular one to make maybe, let's see, if I get in at 410 and my first take profit would be up here, up towards these highs, then I would be looking to make 180. So risking 40 to make 180 in this particular example. So this is where the risk reward is much better. However, the odds of this being profitable compared to the other one is a lot less likely, right? Because the market has to be going against me and then turn around. That's why I was talking about probabilities, because we have risk reward and then we have win percentage, so probabilities. And you can't always have both, right? This trade has a lower probability of being profitable. However, when it is profitable, the risk reward is much greater. And now this is an extreme example. It is reasonable because I have taken place trades like this, but in perspective, yeah, you would need to be trading. I would 100% recommend micros rather than minis, because you do need micros when you're trading this wide of entries, right? 40 points on a mini, that's $800. That's really high for a risk for just one contract. Definitely drop down maybe 3-4 micros is a lot more reasonable for this. And you don't have to have your take profits this far. You could very well do something like this. Maybe set up a trade like this, right? Because what this would be saying is if we sell off and then we turn around. And you could play around with this as much as you want, right? It's the overall concept, because we're setting our orders and then we're letting the market move between now and tomorrow. And we're trying to position ourselves in really good areas of the market to take advantage of those movements, whether it's selling off or rallying back up. You got your first payout last week. Awesome. Congratulations. I love to see that. Check the Nikkei. It hasn't really moved much. We're just kind of going sideways and consolidating. Why don't you do both OCO for entry? I mean, you can, Tom. I like to do my analysis and have a bias and do that. You can very well do bracket orders, or if it rallies up, we get in long. If it sells off, we get in short. Trade it like it's a news event, right? I've kind of steered away from that, and I'm letting the market give me what I want. I let the market come to me, right? So if the market's not giving me what I'm looking for example, we did the analysis on an hourly chart, and based off of my daily and my hourly analysis, I do believe that if we do break out and we turn around and go up, essentially we're kind of just rotating, right? We rotate up, and then down. And now maybe we have another rotation, back to the top of this trend. And if the market gives that to me, I want to take advantage. It doesn't mean that we could sell off. Yeah, because anything could happen and we could sell off. But if this is what I'm looking for, I'll need the market to give me what I'm looking for before I put my money to work. Can we possibly get an analysis on the Russell? Kevin, not tonight, because I am a trader right now first, and I'm looking for trades and I'm talking for trades. Eventually I could bring on some other markets, but for now it's just Nasdaq, crude oil, and then the Nikkei, because I have this Nikkei trade on. Hi, it's your first time. Welcome. And then always, guys, if you guys have any suggestions, any questions, always put them in the chat. How long has it taken me to get those combines to 150K account? It's been about 1 week for these combines. You guys seen, if you guys were here last night, you guys seen my trade on the Nikkei. I made about $4,500 yesterday on my Nikkei trade. And so, yeah, it just really depends. I mean, trade it like you're going to be trading your own personal live account. So you guys hear Hoag and you hear everybody talking about the same thing, right? Practice like you play, dance with the girl you brought, whatever. There's so many analogies that we can do. But if you're practicing exactly the way that you play, then when it comes time to perform in an express funded account or a live account, then essentially it should be much easier, right? So I think that's the best way I could explain it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Bullish on the Nikkei and the Nasdaq. I mean, essentially, yes, right? Because we were rallying up, and I'm not expecting, but I believe the market could come back up here and test these highs. And if we take a look at the Nikkei, it's essentially this. Oh, let me turn back to the Nikkei. I mean, it's essentially the same thing, right? Maybe they're not correlated. I haven't really done any studies on correlation between these, but yeah, I got in long yesterday, the Nikkei down here, and we rallied up, and then I'm looking to get in long around this zone. I mean, it's not an exact level. Like, this is not the exact line because it's support and resistance. Technical analysis does not work like that, where it's not exact numbers. This is more of a zone that I'm looking at. I mean, you could imagine if this was here, right? And if you believe the market could turn around in this zone, it's not 100% because we can continue to sell off. But I do think that if we do need a rally, or if we do start to rally, then this will be the zone that the market has a chance to do so, right? Does it mean it will touch it and then turn around, or does it mean it will, get halfway and turn around, or will it go all the way back to the bottom and then turn around? I'm not sure, and it's almost impossible to know. So I'm just going to watch it and see if there is that turnaround, and I'm still wanting to get into a third contract. If we continue to consolidate and maybe we start to break up, maybe I get into my third contract as we start to break up. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to watch and see what the market gives me. It's Simple Grins. What open position do you have now? One time I'm long the Nasdaq. In reference to the Nasdaq, I noticed that on the 4-hour parallel channel, the Nasdaq wicked down to the bottom of that 4-hour channel. I mean, yeah, it's essentially the same thing regardless of what we're looking at, right? Hourly, daily, 4-hour, we've been just consolidating, and we have a chance to push to these highs. Now let's take a look at oil. Oil has been a great instrument for me to trade. And let's start on the daily on crude oil. The meek on the 1 minute here. Okay, let's see, is it going to load for the daily? Okay, here's the daily on crude oil. I'm in April's contract for crude. So there we go. So here's April's contract, crude oil daily. Man, this is as ugly of a chart as you could get. It's not really clear direction. It's very ugly looking. It's not visually appealing, right? I mean, essentially, we've been in kind of a channel here. Not really much to say. Essentially, the way that I'm looking at crude oil anyway is I'm bullish, and anytime we're down in this area, I'm looking for a long, because I do believe that crude oil can push to $80 a barrel and possibly have a continuation above $80 a barrel. And so right now, crude is actually looking really attractive to me for the longs, because we're at the bottom of this channel, right? It's not a good looking channel, but we're at the bottom where we found buyers before and where we're making these higher lows. And this is the daily. And so very much I would like to be a buyer down here. So this is actually looking really good for me. The more that I look at it to find opportunities to get in long. So let's zoom into an hourly chart and let's see what we could find. Yeah, this is, I really do like a long crude here. I mean, essentially you guys could see that, right? Where every single time we've been down in this range, in this zone, they've been really great buying opportunities. And this might be another one where this could be a very great buying opportunity. So how do we take advantage of it? So if I'm going into crude oil with a bullish bias, and I believe that if we do start to break up, maybe we start to test the first area, of course, is going to be this. Maybe we test these high 78s. Then the second level, maybe up here. And then, of course, maybe these three areas that I'm looking at. Let's just say there. And remember, I'm going to zoom in and I'll continue to fine-tune this. So these are the first areas I'm looking at if we do break out to the long side. And so how can we take advantage of the market if we do? Using the same things I just talked about. buy stops and buy limits. So if those are the areas where I would put my take profit, the first thing I would look to do is a limit order, right? So that's the very first one. Let me get rid of this, and I could explain it a little bit better. So you guys could see that. Charts look pretty upside to me on Crude. Yeah, I'm a Crude bull as well. So the first one I'm thinking of is maybe something as simple as a buy stop right there. I mean, it looks like we're breaking above $78 a barrel. If we continue to break out, then get triggered into a long. We do have a lot of consolidation here, though. We consolidated there for a while. So that makes me a little bit hesitant on using a buy stop because there's some resistance there. I'm not 100% sure. I do want to get in long, so maybe a buy stop is not the answer. And I just go to my good old-fashioned buy limit orders, where if we do have another push down here, maybe I look to just get in at a long. However, I put myself at risk in terms of if we do sell off, then or if we do rally, then I miss the move to the long side. Like that's one of the negative things about using limit orders, right? Where if we do sell off, 1 second here. If we do sell off, then we risk missing the trade. And maybe I don't want to do that because I want to get in this trade. And if we don't have a sell-off, maybe we just completely rally here. I'm not sure. Remember, I'm just looking at this for you guys as well. Like, this is the first time I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm not liking buy stops or buy limits. And then it looks like I just getting stopped out of my Nikkei long. Let me pull that up here for you guys, if it will let me. Yeah, so I just getting stopped out. Let me show you. Oh, that's not the wrong one. Maybe it will. If it won't let me. I just got stopped out, minus $1,800 on that trade. And it was only 2 contracts. That's not good. So there's that one. Let's go ahead. And it stopped me out right here, just as we had that wick down. Let's see. Let's get through some of the question. I'm going to wait. I just don't want to short this. I want to be a buyer. We're at the bottom of that. To be honest, I should have just waited and been a little bit more patient with this. Yeah, I definitely should have just been more patient with it. Dang it. Oh, well. Yeah, I should have been more patient. It went and stopped me down. The day market. Let's see. I'm checking to see if I got stopped out of my live account. My live account, I'm still in it. So I'll continue to watch this. I got stopped out. I'm going to wait. I don't want to place another trade. I know Rips has that, the shot clock. So I'm going to wait patiently. I'm going to finish continuing my analysis on crude oil before I touch this again. And if anything, I might just take my loss tonight as well and consider that good. It's frustrating when you get stopped out. And sure enough, we are starting to catch a bid now. Yeah. Shot clock. The nice thing is it didn't stop me out of my live account, which, yeah, I had a much more accurate stop loss on my live account. So that's the good news. These combines, oh well. If we do get that bounce up, that's one of those where we come down, we stop me out, and yeah, definitely a stop should have been a lot better below this market. But stop loss hunters, we'll see. Maybe we have a continuation. Let me go back to crude oil, and we could continue this analyzing crude oil before I get any type of emotion there. So yeah, GB, I still think that crude could run up and test $80, and I still am looking for crude oil to not only test but rally and hold above 80. I mean, we've had a hard time getting to 80 and holding above $80 a barrel. This month in March, we've tested it a few times. If we do go up and test it again, I want to take advantage of it, right? So the way we could do that between now and tonight is maybe buy stops. So I don't like buy limits right now, even though they have a higher win percentage, which is okay. I think buy stops is going to be the best option for me in crude oil. And the reason being is if I use a buy limit, I do have a better risk reward. However, if we start to rally, my buy limit will not get filled. And I don't want to say I don't want to miss out and have like FOMO, right? Where we're fear of missing out. However, I want to be getting in when we have momentum, because we've been chopping around here for the past few days, where we've been rally, sell off, and very much like we've seen the Nasdaq. So maybe a couple options for from buy stops. So if we zoom into a 5-minute chart, then we could kind of see today's price action. And the first two areas I'm looking for buy stops is maybe something like this, right? Where we get triggered in here for a long, and then we look for a continuation and maybe get triggered into a second contract, or we just use 78, 74 to get in long. However, that's still pretty far away from the price, so I much rather use a buy stop closer. So maybe something like this, a buy stop here, and if I do get triggered in, maybe looking for a stop loss. I'm actually would love to have a stop loss down here, but something like this as a trade. So getting in long, maybe 2 contracts. So if we get in long 2 contracts here, then this could be my first take profit, and then I could hold one to see if we could have a bigger push up towards $80 a barrel. And this is a 1-to-1 risk reward to start off with, and then maybe have that one runner on, and that runner could turn into a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1. I'm not 100% sure. I still like my buy limit orders to where we have a buy limit when we get down. And I think, yeah, John, you're saying it as well. On some of these extremes, if we do have another sell-off. However, if we do start to get momentum and start to break these highs, I want to get in it. Maybe that's a little bit of a FOMO, right? Fear of missing out if we do start to break out. However, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. What's your guys' thoughts on crude oil? I'm curious to see. I'm a little bit indecisive on crude tonight. What's your guys' thoughts? Let me look at the hourly chart, because I want to get in long, and it just depends on how we go about doing that. Short limit. So we have someone looking for a short. I'm definitely looking to be a buyer, because we've been in a not a very strong trend, but we've been kind of consolidating up and to the right. We've been range bound, slowly grinding higher and higher. Indecisive for entry, but need to move off the 78. So we have a lot of Fibonacci traders in here. Long. Yeah, that's the thing, right? We can have our biased, which is great. Say our biased is long, and we believe that the market could rally. But how do we get in? That's the question. Is I'm bullish. I do believe the market will go up in crude oil. And I find myself in this situation not a lot, but I think this is one of the hardest things for myself. I think it's one of the harder things for a lot of traders is we can have our bias. We do know which way we want to be in the market. Let's say we want to be long. This is an hourly chart, and we want to be long crude. But the question is just, how do we do that? Like, where do we get in? Where do we put our stop losses? And where do we put our take profits? And I struggle with this probably the most. I see traders all the time struggle with this. It's one of those things where there's not an exact answer, and it depends on our strategy. It depends on what we're looking for. I personally like higher risk reward trades. And I take those higher risk reward trades over the higher probability trades. And sometimes it sucks having so many losses in a row and losing. But other times, when those higher risk reward trades do pay off, it's great, and it makes up for a lot of the losses. I've been in a losing streak the past few weeks, and I just need to continue to go through this. And as long as those risk rewards and the statistics, are true, then those higher winning trades are going to do more than enough to pay for those losing ones, right? So I'm indecisive here. I like to have a high risk reward trade and wait for a little bit of a sell-off before getting in long, maybe down here at these extremes like Hoag was saying. However, there's a little bit inside of me that I want to get in long. I'm bullish. It's hard to just say I'm going to buy crude oil now. I'm going to move my stop loss here, and we'll see where it goes, because I really do like to have the market, work for me and give me what I look for and not force it. John, you'll get out of it. Thanks, John. Sometimes we all need support, and I tell traders all the time, I'm not the best trader. I'm an average trader. I try and be consistent, and that's all we can hope for, and to help you guys here. So yeah, I'm just indecisive. I think when I'm indecisive like this, I did take the Nikkei loss, and now we're starting to continue to go sideways. I'm okay with this, just taking this loss and being done for today. That's fine by me. I think that's just how it's going to be, and I'm going to wait for another opportunity. There's always going to be tomorrow. It's only Tuesday night. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and so we have a whole half of a week in front of us. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to sit on my hands and wait for another opportunity. Let's get to some questions. We are getting close to the end of the class, so go ahead, ask some questions. I'm going to sit on my hands and be patient. I take this loss for today and wait for tomorrow. Yeah, demand your location. Yeah, if oil doesn't give it to me, then I'm not going to take it, regardless of how frustrating it's going to be if we do start to rally and we get above $80 a barrel. I can't count how many times the market's done this over the past 14 years, where I think it's going to do something, and then I'm waiting for it, and then the market just does not give me what I want, and then it just goes exactly to where I thought it was going to go, and we missed out, and it's just one of those situations where we just have to deal with it. At Dakota, why am I not able to open NKD and NinjaTrader? I'm not sure, Nisha. Ticker symbol just NKD. Do you have a strict number of trades you will put on per evening? Jeff, the average amount of trades I place in a day is very low compared to what you see a lot of traders who are day trading. I like between less than 5. I would say 5 is there. My slow markets class, like tonight, 1 or 2 maybe. I do trade the New York session sometimes, and maybe I'll take 3 or 4 during the New York session. But 5 is a good, solid number for myself. Will you keep trading after class? No. I mean, tonight, no. Typically, yes. After my class, usually I'll eat. Maybe you guys all know, Netflix. I'll find something to do, and then maybe I'll check the charts right before I go to bed to see if anything's changed. Most of the time, nothing has really changed, and then I'll go to bed. But what you guys see me do in front of you is exactly how I trade. Like placing these trades, get stopped out, take losses, and then I would go to bed and let some of these trades run overnight. Yesterday was great. You guys seen I had that Nikkei trade. I made $4,100. Like, it was really, really quick, which is really fast for a slow markets class, and I was just in and out. But yeah, very rarely do I scalp quick trades. My average trade is about an hour long. I don't hold trades for that for a short amount of time. Sometimes it sucks though. Sometimes not getting out of the market comes back and bites me in the butt. And I've seen that a few times this week, which is fine. It's just sometimes the market changes, the volatility changes, the market attitude in terms of what do we call it? Personality. The market does have a personality, and if the market personality changes, sometimes as traders we're a little bit slow to adapt. And I think that's been me the past couple weeks. Is we've kind of transitioned into a different acting market, going into rollover, and I've been a little bit slow to transition. I've been holding trades for a little bit longer than normal, which is okay. I just need to make sure that I adjust, I analyze, and like I said, I will wait until my normal time when I review my trading, which is this upcoming weekend. I'll review all my trades and I'll say, okay, did I do something wrong? Do I need to do something different? Do I need to do something better? And then was it me? Was it the market? Because right now, when I'm in the middle of trading, I don't know. You can't really say for sure whether it was me, whether it was the market, or why I'm not doing as good as I should have. But I just have to continue to trade. And then when I review my statistics, then I'll come up with an answer. Maybe this upcoming next week, after I review my statistics, maybe I show you guys a little bit of the inside of what I look at, what I'm looking at, how my statistics were, and analyze my trading for pretty much the first quarter of the year. What are some things you look for when analyzing your trades? Yeah, I'm going to review that, I think, next week. But I look at the risk reward. I look at what markets I was trading. I look at the probability of my trades, so my win percentage, my lose percentage. I look at the time I was trading, when I was getting in, when I was getting out. I look at almost everything I can to see, number one, the first thing I do is, is it me that is just placing bad trades or mismanaging my trades? Or is it the market acting differently than what I'm used to? Like, what is it? Is it me? Is it the market? Or is it my strategy? The strategy is what I look at last. The first thing I look at is myself. The second thing I look at is the market. And then the third thing I look at is my strategy. Because if it's me, then I know it's just myself. And then I'll say, okay, I need to either work on myself. I need to practice. I need to do some hot yoga or something, and then refocus, right? Because overall for the year, I'm in a great shape. I started off the year, I made $86,000. I gave some of that back, and I'm sitting at $45,000, $50,000 for the year. And it's just March, right? So for the year, I'm great, but for the month, I'm not doing so good. And so I'll analyze over the past month and see what I could do different, see what I could do better, and yeah, pretty much go from there. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for me and my trading and analyzing anything, the markets. John, you know you like hot yoga. Have you ever done hot yoga? I got convinced to do it once by my sister. My sister convinced me to do it, and oh man. Hey, and update on my live account. Let me switch to my live account and let me show you, because I didn't get stopped out of my live. So I'm going to switch to my live account and show you Nikkei on live. I've been trading Nikkei on my phone, so let me switch. I'll show you what I look at. Let's see if it will do it. When I'm looking at Nikkei, it's just here on my phone. You don't see much. I don't even see charts. Yeah, I just pretty much see the numbers. We'll see if it logs. So it takes a little bit of time to log in. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'll watch and see if it will. But yeah, let me pull up Nikkei again. Oh wow. Yeah, there's Nikkei for you guys. I got stopped out and now it turned right around. Now I went to a spa. I had a nice spa date a couple weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. Is a hot yoga a sauna yoga? Pretty much. It's exactly that, right? You just do yoga and you're kind of a sauna. I'm not as flexible as I used to be. That's what happens when you sit in front of a computer screen for so long and so much. So here's Nikkei. We're kind of getting that bounce. We're still inside this consolidation. I'm long in my live account still. Same entry price, and I'm looking for a bounce up higher. Some of my first take profits, just so I end the stream here. I will be closing out of some of my position if we do get up towards this zone. Support becomes resistance. I'll probably get out of half and then maybe hold on to another one, and maybe if we see a rally here. So we'll see. You're like inside a sauna yoga. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go. I don't know too much about it, guys. I remember I went once with my younger sister, and this was a while ago. Do I have a hard stop on my Nikkei? I do. It's going to be this line at 40, actually 39. This is my hard stop. So, okay, guys. I think that's going to be it. As always, I'm always going to be competing with the TopstepTV fast markets. So yourself, Hoag. I like to call it Hoga. And so put a like, subscribe, and look for me in Discord. And if you guys have any questions at all, let me know. And I'm also always looking for suggestions. If you guys have suggestions, tell me. Just tell me if there's any suggestions. I'm not sure why this smash the like button. My live account's not loading. Just give me a second, because when I log into my phone, I wanted just to show you the live account because it's only fair. And Topstep, and another reason why I love Topstep is it's pushing accountability, right? And transparency. So let me see if I could show my live account. I won't have a life, Rips, if I went that many hours. I would not have a life. Yeah, thanks, John. I'm going to join you guys for fast markets one of these days. When I could wake up and not feel tired, it still will take my body some time to adjust. But I'll get with Danielle and the team to see when I will be physically prepared to join you guys during fast markets or in the morning. So take care. Love everybody. I'll chat to you guys tomorrow.